Good evening. Sorry, some of you had seen me on my personal page. So, again, thank you for joining us tonight on Monday night. Hope your Labor Day was awesome, and it's Monday evening for most of us, but for some of us it may be Tuesday morning, and even Monday afternoon. So again, thank you for spending the time with us today. Really appreciate it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Partha Nandi, and I am a practicing physician in Metro Detroit. And what I'm doing in Metro Detroit is also, besides practicing medicine, I'm also the host and co-creator of Ask Dr. Nandi, which is a medical lifestyle show. We talk about just the same stuff that we're talking about today, and maybe a little bit more in more depth at one topic at a time. So I also do the health news. I'm the chief health editor for the ABC affiliate in Detroit. So again, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you joining us and spending time today. So today we'll do something a little different. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to answer some of your questions. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm always worried about all of you not being able to hear some of the things we're talking about. So let me know if you can hear me well and that the audio is good. So again, we'll answer your questions live. We get lots of questions on our Facebook Lives, and often we can't answer them at the time that they're being asked. So today we'll answer these questions and hopefully be able to help others who didn't ask that question. So a quick hello to a lot of you who are joining us. Aloha, Dr. Nandi, watching from Hawaii. Norma, awesome, thank you. Agarin says, good morning. Barbara says, hello, thank you for joining us. Yoli Kanuza, appreciate it. Where's my clinic? In Michigan. Miss Kanuza. Martha Gutierrez, thank you. Sama Akbar, thank you. Chuck Hill, Deborah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So, we'll get right into it. We'll talk about, in the last few months, I've been doing Facebook Lives, and I've been really honored that a lot of you have joined me. And so today we're going to answer some of the questions we've had. Now, the topics that we've had have ranged from obesity to gut bacteria, and really even gut bacteria and how it can lead to anxiety, right? We talked about topics such as things I talk about every day, which is acid reflux and how it can actually, can be a life-threatening disease. And again, so some of the times we were not able to answer some of your questions. So, and some people are asking, what's the subject? The subject is really about you and answering some of your questions. I'd love to be able to answer that I couldn't answer live, and now we'd like to do that. So I appreciate you guys joining us. A lot of smart and engaging questions. So not all the questions we've had are great, but we picked a few of them that we think would be awesome. So Mary Nadeau, N-A-D-A-U. Mary, thank you for the question. And she asked in one of our Facebook Lives, where can I find a good meal plan to follow and to prepare my mind to achieve a healthy lifestyle? So I'll say it again. So where can I find a good meal plan to follow to prepare my mind to achieve a healthy lifestyle? So very cool. Mary, so again, thanks so much for the question. In the second chapter of my book, Ask Dr. Nandi, I should probably pull out my book here. And it's right here. So pull up my book right here. In chapter 2 of this book, we talk about something we call the Health Hero Nutrition Plan. The Health Hero Nutrition Plan is basically my blueprint on how to live a nutritious and healthy lifestyle. Notice I did not say diet. It's a healthy and nutritious lifestyle that you can do without having to worry about all the fad diets and all the craziness. Because in my opinion, really, none of them are out there. I should ask one of my team to put a link. If you're interested in getting this book, which is coming out September 12th, be one of the first ones, you can go on the link that's going to be tagged at the top, and it'll connect you right to Amazon or whatever online link you want to go to, and you'll be able to get the book. Be one of the first ones to get the book. In chapter 2 of the book, I actually talk about what Mary's asking. And so, I write about the fact that I feel like diets actually have a way to sabotage our weight loss goals. So instead of really helping, they can actually sabotage our weight loss goals. They can sometimes actually hurt more than it can help. So actually you can put on more weight and not get your weight loss goals or your health goals. So the Nandi nutrition plan, as we call it, is really the best meal plan that I know of, because it's one you can keep, one you can actually do that without having to have potions and plans and this and that and 55 things to do. Now you'd probably be happy to hear it doesn't require it doesn't require you to give up any of your really favorite foods or starve yourself after that. Often you get these plans that you it's kind of crazy. So all you need is a bit of common sense and a little help from from the guide that I have. And remember, the recommendations I make, water here, all the recommendation I make, back with science. It's not just conjecture. So my prescriptions for eating a healthy and nutritious plan for eating healthy in a nutrition manner is really happens to be big takeaways from chapter 2 of my book. And it's called the Health Hero Nutrition Plan, or the Nandi Nutrition Plan, whichever you prefer. So number one, get your head into it. Very important. It's the first thing you want to do is get your head into it. Eating the right way really starts and ends with what? The space between your ears, right? Once your mind is clear about nutrition, the rest really follows. The Health Hero, trains the mind really to understand the importance of great nutrition. And once you do, once you know the why, the rest really follows. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a little water. The way, I think, to the heart is really to the gut. That's number 2. So many of us, whose hearts are really hurting, try to ease the pain through the gut. Emotional eating is a huge problem in our society and worldwide. And the Health Hero, in my opinion, fills the hurting and the needy heart with spirituality and purpose, not allowing unhealthy eating habits to artificially fill the void. So very important. Number 3, you've heard this before, but you are what you eat. So many of us are really inundated with media gods, right? People who are just celebrities are telling us what we should look like. Remember, eat to maintain a healthy weight and a healthy size, not to match, what you think the Instagram and Snapchat images tell you, right? Fill our heads with what beauty is like. I think that's just ridiculous. The Health Hero, in my opinion, uses tribe, uses movement and spirituality to really understand real beauty, and as a nutritional plan to match this wholesome beauty inside and out. So really important. Got a person there with a question. An ounce of prevention, lastly, also is worth a pound of cure. So true in the diet of the Health Hero. With heart disease, the leading killer of women in the U.S., eating until you're 2/3 full and choosing green leafy veggies, super critical, right? Avoiding red meat and saturated fat, also be super instrumental in preventing the clogging of the arteries. And the Health Hero really fights with her ultimate weapon. What's that? The 4th, right? Warding off lethal disease. Again, I'll tell you that heart disease is the leading killer of women. And as we speak today, women are going to have heart attacks all throughout the country and the world. It's really important for all the ladies who are watching to really know that. It's really, really important to know that. The thing is that women often take care of everybody else except themselves, right? And then so you're left with just kind of, at the end of the day, trying to take care of yourself. Remember, if you can't take care of yourself, you will not be able to take care of anybody else. And so women are often ignoring the signs of heart disease. Often women don't get the typical signs that we think about, which is chest pain. You may get something atypical, something very different. And so really important that you can do that. So Mary, thank you so much for your question. I hope that helps, and thank you for tuning in to watch Facebook Live, as always. Super valuable. Your input is super valuable, so I appreciate that. So you guys are enjoying themselves. I love all the comments. It's coming. Keep them coming. I appreciate it. And the other thing is that if you think there are others in your community that could benefit from some of the information, please share this with them as well. Remember, this lives on beyond this broadcast. So if you miss a part of it, then you can always play it back. So next question that I have picked is Megan Newsom. She says, why is it that I gain 10 pounds every year? A lot of people say it, right? Yes, she says, I realize that I could become a gym freak, but I just don't want to live my life that way. Super important question. So what's your recommendation? So Megan, thank you so much again for your question. And listen, totally understand your frustration. We've all been there. I know everybody's watching has been there, right? You kind of feel like, what the heck's going on? Every year I get a little bit bigger and I don't know why. I'm not doing anything different. So what's your recommendation? So Megan, again, you know, it's often easy to get overwhelmed with all the different kind of weight loss advice that's out there. There's not a lack of it, right? You go everywhere. There's do this, do that. You know, there's, you know, you look at the sun. You eat the wheat diet, the veggie diet, the eat bacon diet. Goes on and on. So all this competing information can really lead to overload, mental overload. And that's why I try to make it easy on my patients. I try to keep my advice pretty simple, because if it's not simple, it's not going to work. To me, I never ask anybody to do anything that I don't ask my own family. And you can ask my family. They do the same stuff for me. So in my book, I write down, many of us want a quick fix, a way to really achieve weight loss easily. The desire really has led to a multi-billion-dollar business, often built upon impossible to achieve goals. This very book, if you look at the book and you look at chapter 2, many of us really are looking for a quick fix. From the paleo to the Atkins diet, we're expected to restrict our food choices in a really unrealistic manner that's not sustainable. And again, more self-punishing, we call dieting behavior. That results in what? Restricting your food, isolates your meal time, creates sometimes nutritional deficiencies, so you're not always getting the stuff that you need, and leads to yo-yo dieting and eating disorders that can wreak havoc on your metabolism and immune system. Super important. And there's more to that list of negatives. Paleo and Atkins also both rely on huge amounts of protein, often red meats, creating more greenhouse gases and contributing to even stuff like global warming. We won't even talk about the effect on the cholesterol and on the heart, right? Without the heart, nothing happens. So those diets are just not the healthier way. So Heather, here's my recommendation real quick. If I would tell you to focus on eating real good food. And I would say don't diet, don't become a gym freak. So whole foods, foods that you can prepare, right? Not foods that are processed, not foods that are canned. Obviously, physical exercise and working out sometimes are also important, but find something that really brings you joy, something that you're passionate about, and do that. So, super important. Thank you for your question, Heather, and I wish you a lot of luck on your weight loss journey. And so, namaste to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me see what's going on here. All right, Heidi Roth, that's my next question. Thank you again for keeping your questions here. I appreciate that. Again, those of you who, a lot of the information I'm giving you is contained in My Life's Work, and this is the book, I'll Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. 5 steps. And here's a link that we put up on the top of the Facebook feed. And if you click that, you can go to Amazon or whatever link you would like to buy the book. And I think the pre-order price is actually less than the published price. So if you get it early and you're one of the first ones to get it, you can actually probably get a good deal. So please do that. I would love for you to be able to share the information that I gave. So Heidi Roth, she asked an important question. a lot of people ask me the same questions. Probiotics helping with weight loss. So awesome questions about probiotics and what it can do. So really super question. Thank you for asking. And I write about it a lot in chapter 2 of the book that I have. And what I write is the use of probiotics has really exploded in recent years. found in fermented yogurts, drinks, and supplements, the bacteria that's really carried in probiotics, Heidi, are part of what's called a microbiome. A microbiome, trillions of little creatures or bacteria and organisms that really can help you with your immunity. Remember, we talked a lot about this on the microbiome a few weeks ago during our Facebook Live session on gut bugs and how it affects anxiety, if you remember. Now, the prolonged use of antibiotics really has decimated our GI tracts, and a lot of the good bugs have gone away. So one of the big keys is that, tell you, Heidi, is that and many of you are watching, please don't try to, coerce or pressure your doctor to really give you antibiotics to really wipe out a lot of your good stuff that you have in your bacteria. So today, not only do we know the link between health and bacteria, but now scientists suspect a direct correlation between the levels of good bacteria in the GI tract and even diseases like depression, anxiety, and even autism. So the idea of getting probiotics and good stuff in your gut is really super important. So Heidi, I think that probiotics can be a beneficial thing, a really beneficial thing, especially for people whose gut bugs have been kind of wiped out, depleted through antibiotics, sometimes poor diet, right? Poor choices in your diet, stress, and even alcohol. So can probiotics, in your question, help with weight loss? I would say yes, because getting your good gut bugs healthy is going to bring positive changes to many aspects of your life. It's going to help you get your body kind of getting back in balance. It will benefit your metabolism. It will allow you to achieve your weight loss goals more easily. And that's the key here. It's not like some magic potion, but it really will help you overall with your weight loss goals. In my new book, I give a list of some of the particular things you should look for in your probiotics, like strain. There are many different strains of probiotics. It's important to make sure you're getting the right one. Some strains are often used to combat, for example, diarrhea. And you could look and see which ones are there. But knowing the basic strains that are out there, that's something that a health hero or somebody who's proactive about their health should take initiatives to find out. Another thing that I mentioned in my book is that it's important to know the dose, the amount of the probiotics. Probiotics are measured in CFUs, so colony-forming units. So the thing is that there's no one-size-fits-all dosage, and a lower dose may in fact be more beneficial than a higher dose. So begin low and increase the dose slowly. Now be really hyper-aware, be very vigilant about your symptoms and feelings, so you know what's going on. Two more pieces of information that I can give you, Heidi, is that first of all, your GI tract problems, or if you experience depression or mood swings, please stop taking the probiotic. Right? These things are very rare, but we're just using common sense. It's worth mentioning. The second thing that's important to know is that probiotics are not regulated by the FDA, the Federal Drug Administration. So that's why I tell patients, and I'll let you know, that it's so important to be proactive and learn a little bit about which probiotic best suits your need. Do the homework, do the research, will be totally worth it. So again, awesome questions. Thank you for asking it, and hopefully you guys got something out of it. So awesome. Here we go. Susan Mack, thank you for joining us. Amerik Kirama, I appreciate it. She says, I can't wait to read it. Awesome. Thank you. And again, the link is in the top. If you choose to buy the book today, it'd be awesome. You can get a discount from Amazon or Barnes & Noble, any of the links that we've given here. So very cool. Smiley Lynn, awesome. James Russell, very good. Maria Phillips also. Georgianne Woodovich, Woodovich, awesome. Maureen Cecido, lots of great comments. Keep them coming, really appreciate it. And then also share this with some of your community. If you don't think that they are watching this and they could benefit from it, then please. I encourage you to share this with them so that we can even reach more people. I'd love for people to understand some of the information we're given, because it can really help. And awesome. So next question. You guys ready? All right. Fatima, thank you. I love that. It says, love your mission. Thank you. Thanks for the love and support. Really need it. Tamara Gordonier. She says reading labels is scary. You really start to think. Yeah, absolutely, Tamara. I appreciate your comment. It's probably less of a question than a comment, but it's really important. You really bring to light something that's so important, and I want to emphasize that tonight in our Facebook Live. Reading labels is something that every health hero like you must do. Now, if you don't read your labels, the chances are you're putting bad stuff into your body, right? The chances are pretty high that you're doing that. This is another thing that I talk about in my book on page 51, really. I write something that I believe is really important. Let's get to 51. Thank you for joining us. So reading food labels is one of the most critical steps. One of the most critical steps that you can take in understanding the importance of what you put in your mouth, right? On a food label, the first information you need to look at is portion size. It's at the top of the label along with the calories per serving. All food labels are based on a diet of what? 2,000 calories per day. The daily values of these calories really tell you how much of the key nutrients these foods will contribute to your daily needs. The higher the percentage of good nutrients, the better and healthier you'll feel. Next, look at the percent daily value on the right side of the label. This is an important step towards understanding what is really in your food. The percentage of ingredients are then listed in the right-hand column at the side. Ingredients such as trans fat, saturated fats, and high levels of sodium are to be avoided at all costs. These ingredients have been proven to have a role in what? Heart disease, high blood pressure, and some cancers. All killers, so really important. The other ingredients you should really look for are the vitamins in the food you're holding. Is the food nourishing? That's what the health hero talks about, right? Make sure that the vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and potassium, as well as dietary fiber are there. Fiber also takes the toxins from the body and helps the body absorb vitamins. Fiber also pushes food through the digestive system, a key process for healthy mind-gut connection. Fiber soaks up liquids, expands, and helps you feel fuller, right? So, help you feel fuller. It's a great tool for weight loss and helps you feel balanced and energized. The daily value percentage on the label will give you a quick look on whether or not the food in your hand has any valuable nutrition, right? If it is 5% or lower, the food has little of that nutrition. If it has 20% of the nutrient, it's high. Also, look for foods high in vitamins and fiber and low in sodium, total fats, saturated fats, and trans fats. If possible, you want to keep these three things to the lowest percentage you can. The daily value percentage helps you balance your intake of foods every day. So there's another important part of the food label to look at. So, as my friend Tamara pointed out, and as I write in my new book, learn to read food labels in the supermarket and make great choices for you and your family. Not understanding what's in your food can cause a great deal of trouble for you. It really could give you trouble health-wise, and it has for many of my patients. Again, today I'm thanking Tamara for supervised observation. Also, thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. As always, namaste. Again, if you want to get a copy of the book that we talk about, some of the information that I'm giving you is contained in this book. Ask Dr. Nandi 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for longevity, well-being, and a joyful life. Today, please look at the link at the top of the Facebook feed, and you can click on it. Barnes and Noble, Amazon, whatever link you like, and they're giving it as a discount for pre-ordering. So I think it may be a good deal, and you can get that. I'd love to be able to share some of my life's work and give you some of the tools we're talking about and some of the tips we're giving you. So again, very cool. Thank you for joining us. I'll keep moving on with our Facebook Live. Hope you guys are enjoying. Let's see. Healthy exercise is important, Mary and Elizabeth. I appreciate your comment. You see, Dennis Jorgensen, awesome. And Kimberly Donovan, I appreciate it. She says, can diverticulitis be healed at home? Usually not. You probably need antibiotics and rest, and you should see your doctor if you think you have diverticulitis. Sometimes can be serious. Also, Kimberly, so I really appreciate you talking about Indu Nanda from India, appreciate you joining us. Again, Sylvia Bianco, smoking affects metabolism. It can, but there's so many, negative effects. Melissa Picker, thank you for joining us. Gina Brandt, Clint Westwood, Christine Vigil. I really appreciate these amazing comments and questions. Keep them coming in. Again, I want to remind you, please, share this with your community. A lot of you know that there are people that would benefit from this broadcast, and they're not joining us. I'd love for you guys to share this with them so they can then also join us in this journey, the journey of achieving health. So for those of you who's just joining us right now, we're answering questions today. We're answering questions from people who watch Facebook Live and that I would not be able to have not been able to answer live. So Alicia Allen, so this is her comment and question. So I'm wondering, I'm a type 2 diabetic and I love soda. I know that's not good for me, but I'm clearly addicted, LOL, and have stopped drinking regular and having diet sodas. I found I feel like I can't give it up, almost like withdrawals. Super cranky if I go for a couple of days a week without. I drink plenty of water anyway. I've heard it's a chemical thing in the aspartame and whatever substitute is used. Am I just weak? So great question. A lot of us are addicted to diet, Diet Coke or diet whatever. So important question. Again, Alicia, you're not weak. You're just been manipulated by, the substances that are in that soda and that has millions of people addicted like you are. People walk around with this stuff and the diet really kind of fools you because you think you're kind of getting something for nothing, right? I always say in those country songs, you can't get something for nothing, right? You can't get something for nothing. That's always true. So in my book, I talk about some of the stuff that's in soda, right? High fructose corn syrup, which is a huge culprit behind the exploding rates of obesity and diabetes. Huge. High fructose corn syrup. Also, we don't know the exact mechanism really, but it's not really being clarified by researchers, but obesity causes inflammation, which in turn can increase or worsen, or even some people feel cause insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes. You know what? When this diet sodas have plenty of high fructose, not even just diet, but regular of these sodas has plenty of high fructose corn syrup, right? Now, for example, Coca-Cola is about 60% high fructose corn syrup, even higher than you may have thought. Now, drink it regularly, and you can easily add 10 pounds a year to your weight. I'll say it again. Drink the regular Coke, drink regular pop, and you can actually easily add 10 pounds a year to your weight. And there are mighty forces that really want you on that high fructose corn syrup. Now, Dr. Mark Hyman, real leader in this field, was sent repeated threats apparently from the corn industry as he called out the scourge to human health over and over. And it's just, you have to really, really admire some of these people like Dr. Hyman who've taken a stand against this type of industry. So what about the phosphoric acid that's contained in it? What does that do? You kind of really need a chemistry degree to unravel what that does to the human body. And remember, it's also a rust inhibitor. So if you don't want your body to rust, I guess you take that, right? So imagine what's doing it on the inside. It's also, phosphoric acid can be a food additive, a dental and orthopedic item, and also a component, as an electrolyte. It can be a dispersing agent, an industrial agent, a fertilizer, feedstock. So it goes on and on. You get the idea. While it is not categorized as strong acid, it's 85% corrosive and can be used even to clean toilets and melt human teeth. So this is stuff we're putting in our body, right? And diet, people think, diet means that you're really getting rid of it, but some of the substances that are in diet pop are clearly not beneficial for you. And there have been multiple studies that have shown that if you take diet pop, it actually does not help you reduce weight. In the long run, you actually gain weight. So, the artificial sweeteners may be as addictive, maybe even more addictive than sugars. And all I can do is I tell you that it can do lots of awful stuff to your body. So my advice to you, I'll tell you, Lisa, is to wean yourself off the diet soda if you can. And you don't have to do it all today, right? Just start by cutting a soda, a day or a week, but stick to your goal, and you can do it. A lot of people, talk to me. Not a lot of my patients have really been able to also, over time, really be able to get rid of the pop. And I write in my book, I think, one of my patients, really all she did was drink pop all the time and had real problems with health. And once she stopped the pop or the soda, she was able to lose weight and really gain control of her life. So best of luck to you, Alicia, and I think you can definitely do it. Again, we're talking about some of the advice that I'm giving in my new book that's coming out, Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. And at the top of the Facebook feed, I've given a link where you can, if you were able to be one of the first to be able to get this book, it releases September 12th, but if you order it now, you can get it immediately. I think you can get it, not immediately, I shouldn't say. You'll be one of the first ones to get it on September 12th. So this book. But you can go to any of the sites there, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, whatever you like. I think that you can click on there and be able to receive it. I think it's a discount for pre-order. I think at last I saw on Amazon, it was about $17 and 60 some cents. So if you're so interested, I'd love to share some of the information that I've spent a lot of time researching, and really it's my life's work. So I'd love for you to be able to share in that, get some of the information to live a better life for you and your family. So appreciate that. Appreciate you guys joining me today again. Today we're answering questions from folks just like you who watched Facebook Live before and have not been able to answer your questions. So it's awesome comments. Trinidad to Tobago. My mom has dementia. Is there any needs for medicines or foods, etc., she could use to reverse or stop it from progressing? Very important question, Sandra Ramsuk from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sorry. She is asking about dementia and what foods you can really have. I think it's important to have, leafy green vegetables and avoid processed foods as much as possible. And again, what you want to also talk about is movement, exercise. What that does is also help you to be able to get some of the blood supply to your brain. And it's been shown to decrease the effects of disorders of your brain, including dementia. So great question. Kim from Kim Katz from Colorado. Awesome. I appreciate you joining us. Let's take a look and see. Its comments are wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Aline Adoba, thank you for joining us. Again, she writes on stevia. I think that if you pick an alternative, probably stevia is probably the best one that's out there. But again, if you can avoid any alternative for sugar, I would appreciate it, unless there's an absolute need from your doctor. And Lisa Drake, what's the cause of snoring in your sleep? Awesome. So there's lots of causes, but one of the things you have to worry about is sleep apnea. Lisa, is that when you actually are apneic in your sleep, and it's one of the leading causes that people don't know about, for heart attacks and strokes. So really important. Ricky Cook, thank you for joining us. Arlene Maris from Philadelphia, thank you so much. Christine Vigil, I want all your books. That's so funny. Thank you so much for your kind comments, Christine. I appreciate that. And Devora Power, BeRoyal.com. If you're looking to connect, come join us. Awesome. One of the best tribes that's out there, modern tribes. Thank you, Bryant and Jenny, for forming it also and being huge leaders. BeRoyal.com. Awesome tribe. I talk about them in my book as well. And the meaning of real tribe. We talk about tribe as a huge factor in people's lives and improving their health. And so super cool that the Royals are with us today. Awesome. For every, and Jan McCabe says, for every soda pop ounce, there's 1 teaspoon of sugar per ounce. Stop both regular and diet soda. Sugar is deadly for your health. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate that. Got some passion in here. I love it. So, back to our questions. You guys ready? Let me just have my little drink of water here. So, Michelle Johnson. Michelle, thank you for the question. My husband just passed away at 22 years, and will I die of a broken heart? It feels like I will. Sorry about this, Michelle. I know what it feels like. I know that when somebody near and dear to you is gone, and the heartache is unbelievable. So again, my father passed away recently, and a little over a month ago. And my mom and my sister and I, and my whole family, including my wife, really are still sad about it, and we're devastated when this happened. And I felt the same way. It's amazing how this can happen, that you can actually feel. And I talked to my wife about this. I talked to Calvin about this. How you can actually feel physical pain in the heart. I didn't know you could feel that until I lost my father. And one of the most important things, Michelle, is that during this period of time, you really need your tribe, people around you that can support you. Very important. And in my book, chapter 4 of my book, I talk about the importance of tribe, and so what do you mean by that? So here's what I really mean, and I talk about it in chapter 4 of this book, and a lot of you have already looked at it, and some of you have already ordered it. And so tribe in this book is family bonded by blood. Tribe is are also colleagues, students, and teachers bonded by purpose, and institutions. Tribe is a neighborhood. And it's, as the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, as the African proverb goes. Tribe is also random, a family made up of people you meet along the course of your life's path, right? To make you laugh, make you think, make you enjoy. Tribe. Devorah talked about this. The BeRoyal.com is awesome. The Royal Tribe, they're often not in physical vicinity, but through their social community, they're strong and they support each other. The Royals are awesome. And so that's kind of what I mean by the word tribe. And now, why is this so important during the death of a loved one or when you're facing challenges? Because you need your tribe the most during this time. And here are some of the few things that strong tribes can do. And it's in page 165. Just noted it down. Preparing for this Facebook Live. So tribes can reinforce your purpose and your sense of belonging. Two main themes in your health. Tribes can also boost self-esteem and diminish stress. Tribes can improve your sense of self-worth. And this is important for you, Michelle. Tribes can help you with trauma, such as the death of a loved one or divorce in the family. Very important. And lastly, tribes encourage you to live in a healthy, positive way. Putting on pressure for example, if your drinking is escalating or your potato chips never leave your hand. So tribe is super important in this, and I would encourage you to really get the support of your tribe, and as you go through this hard time. And I hope you have a tribe that you can rely on, or if you don't, then you can go to a community like the Royals, BeRoyal.com, and I hope that they can bring you some peace. And I promise you, though, that this will get better, and you will not drive a broken heart. It might feel like that right now, but you will be okay. You're never going to forget this person. It's always going to be in your heart. But please also take care of yourself. There are a lot of people that can benefit from your love and support. So really try to stay positive. And when I was devastated by my dad's passing, I said to myself, if there's something good that comes out of it, it would be that I'll be better equipped at helping others who are going through this kind of grief. So, there'll be a lot of people that would really benefit from you staying strong and becoming more healthy. So, my thoughts are with you. God bless you, and thank you for the comment and question. So, appreciate that. Next question is from Jessica Reyes. She says, "What if I am in a bad mood and you know what? Say those words, thank you." What does that mean? So I think the question is about gratitude, and the question is that if I'm in a bad mood and I say those words, does it still matter? So absolutely, Jessica, great question. Again, thank you for joining us, all of you who are just joining us on Facebook Live. Remember, you can share this with your community. I think that if you know that people benefit from this. Also, I'd love all your comments and questions. Just keep them coming. So I really appreciate that. So Jessica, thanks again for the great comment. Here's what will happen if you say thank you. You actually will become a healthier person. That's why a doctor is talking about it, right? So an MD is talking about saying thank you. Huge amount of research that really shows that those are some of the most powerful words you can utter. In chapter 5 of my book, now this is the book I'm talking about, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero. It's Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and Joyful Life. I'm talking about in this book, and in chapter 5, it is cultivating the mind of the health hero. And I give a little prescription for increasing the amount of gratitude in your life. So it's gratitude, it's kind of a gratitude exercise, right? And it's as simple as this. So wherever you are, when your head hits the pillow, really, when your head hits the pillow, spend your last waking moments thinking about the things in your life that you're grateful for. Again, wherever you are, when your head hits the pillow, spend your last waking moments of that day thinking about the things in your life you're grateful for. Some of the items you list will remain constant, like relieved my family, and the rest could really change, right? Because it's kind of it fluctuates. Notice that. Here's the thing: if they do it in that way, you never stop being grateful, and expressive and appropriate. So you'll find that even if you're in a bad mood, if you feel and say those words, it will really help you elevate your mood. It's a simple things that can make a grand change or result if done consistently. So very important. So Jessica, thank you for joining us, and thank you for the wonderful question. I wish you the best of luck. Again, there's a link on the top of the Facebook Live feed, and it's for this book, Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and Joyful Life. And there, we'll give you a link that will get you to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books and Learn, whatever you like, whatever your link of choice is, we'll be able to get you to be able to get our book. It releases September 12th, and you can be one of the first ones to get it. I'd love to share some of these prescriptions. I'd love to share the information that you've researched and the information and recommendations we've given for you and your family to live better lives. So awesome. I appreciate all of you joining us. We'll move on. There's lots of questions here. I appreciate you guys. Kara Jackson, Christine Vigil. Okay, let's see. Again. Let's see, Monica Silva, Dolores Lohman, appreciate it. Lauren Rappaport says, I'm not really grateful. I'm depressed with crippling anxiety, lost will, motivation, and purpose. But when you're at that severe stage, Lord, I'd really like for you to be able to, if you have a physician to see him, I really think also, I'm not saying that, go to medication first, clearly, but medication can help. And then lots of tools we're giving you can supplement that. It's never about just one or the other. It's about how they work together. It seems like you're really crippled with this, and if you are, obviously do everything we're talking about. But in addition, see your doctor to see if there's medicine they can give you to really help you. Really important. And again, Patty Killen, thank you so much. Kara Jackson, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Catherine, it's awesome. Monica Silva, Frankie Hall Taylor, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Melissa Pickett, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Anna Aquan. Melissa asks, how can you put some of this into action? And so Melissa, this is just Melissa Pickett asks, great information, but how do you put it into action? And in this book, we give you action plans, not just the information, but action plans. We're just giving you a slight slice of what's in there. And that's why I put the link for all of you to get this information. We'd love to be able to share some of the ways that you can do this, not just the information, but also the action plan. So great question. Melissa, just click on the link and you'll be able to get the book from Amazon or Barnes & Noble or indie books or Books and Learn, wherever you like. So we'll keep going here with the questions. So you guys hopefully are enjoying yourself and getting some information from this. Karen Conkle from Picayune, Mississippi. So M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter I. Humpback I. I love Mississippi. I remember hearing that as a kid. So From Pekin, Mississippi, question. I have a hyper mind, jumping from one thing to another. How can I quiet my mind to fully benefit from meditation? So awesome question. People say, how do I quiet the thoughts, right? So Karen, awesome question. And you're right that quieting your mind is essential. Meditation. The thing I'll tell you is that you have to stop all your thoughts. You're a complex human being, and you have a lot of important thoughts and ideas that you want to really give to the world, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to stop all your thoughts, but the attempt is really important. So here are the 12 steps of meditation that I lay out in the last chapter of my book. So this is just directly that comes from my book. The 12 steps in the last chapter of my books, I talk about the 12 steps to meditation. So number 1, set your intention. Do you really want to meditate? And if the answer is yes, commit. Commit that you're going to do it. Number 2, eliminate excuses, right? From everything. There's no excuse for not meditating, not working out, not supporting your tribe, and any of it, right? If this is your life, right? This is your life. You've got to be in it, and meditation will help you to do that, to be present in that life. Remember to sit comfortably in a chair or on the floor with your legs crossed. Really, you just want to be sitting comfortably so you're not just doing something that you're uncomfortable. That's the key behind all of our recommendations. Again, you don't want to get super comfortable. You can't meditate if you keep falling asleep. If this happens, you want to change positions or the temperature of the room. Be alert, but be calm. Right? Be alert, but be calm. Also, keep a tall spine, rolling the shoulders to your ears, and exhale, lowering them back in place. Whenever you feel yourself getting off balance, do the inhale, exhale. So again, keep a tall spine. Inhale, lowering your shoulders to your ears, and exhale, lowering them back in place. Whenever you feel yourself getting off balance, do the inhale, exhale, shoulder roll. Close your eyes. Maintain a simple breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. Focus on that breath as your body settles in and you calm your nerves. Very, very important. Follow your breath in and out in a really gentle rhythm. Give it time. You'll wiggle, squirm in the beginning when you're just getting into it, but it's really all part of learning, right? Observe without judgment, meaning that let your thoughts come and go without issues of what, why, when. Just let them come and go, right? Just acknowledge the thought and then return to your breath. Number 10, don't go after your thoughts. Just let them come in and then chase nothing. Sit and be and see what really comes. Go blank by focusing on your breath again. Also remember, shifting happens. Shifts really happens. If you get distracted, don't be just upset that you're failing. Distraction is a part of every activity, and meditation is really no exception, right? Distraction is a part of every meditation practice on earth, including of the great masters, right? So they really are also trying just like you. Move if you must. During meditation, leg often can fall asleep, but lips can itch, right? Deal with the issue and go back, following your breath. Just have to pay attention to your body. Start small, Karen. At 10 minutes, I even say 5 minutes to begin with, and then 10 minutes, work your way up 10 minutes, and 20, and 30. Don't overwhelm yourself, right? And remember that practice makes what? Perfect. Just like everything else. Just take your time, and I'll tell you, the changes that you'll see will be really life-changing. Life-altering, I should say. Okay? Major steps to quieting the mind, Karen. Hopefully that helps you. And keep at it. Benefits can be tremendous to your health, your physical health, your mental health. Can just make it amazing. Make your life amazing. Yeah, nothing's overnight. Nothing's like a magic bullet, but it can really help you. So, again, the last hour or last 45 minutes or so, we've been talking about all the questions that we've been given on Facebook Live that we could not answer ourselves, and all of them really are contained in this book. Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. Right? So, If you click on the link that's posted on the top of the Facebook feed that you see, you can go to the links on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Nandi Books, whatever you like. And I think they're all discounted for pre-orders. We'll be one of the first few to get them. And the reason why I want you to get them is because there's so much that can really change your life. Really simple steps that are done consistently that can really change the paradigm of your life. And again, awesome comments, and this is really, I love all of you, giving of yourself and helping a lot of you. Again, please share this with some of your community that's not on Facebook Live right now. I think that the amazing power of social media and community is that we can really spread the word and let people know about great tools that we can have. And I put a lot of these tools in my book as I talk about, and I think you can share that with some of your friends as well. I think it would be awesome, and a lot of feedback, good feedback from people who've have looked at it, and so I'm proud of it. So again, thank you again for joining us, taking a few minutes out of your day to join us. Let me see if I can get. Maybe I can get this some of these comments here. Abigail Hurt, thank you so much for joining us. George Lee Remick, thank you so much for joining us. Awad Rajput, again, appreciate it. Debbie Schmidt. Sheila Gordon says, I have MS and I'm hurting so bad, and I'm depressed because I can't hardly help myself. And some of my family members, they just look at me like I'm crazy. Sometimes I wish they can feel the pain that I'm feeling so they can see how I'm feeling and depressed and lots of pain. Sheila, I'm sorry to hear that. I think that one of the important things that I can tell you is that, if your family is not supporting you, really try to join a support group or find a tribe of people that can really help you to understand what is going on. And really be able to support you and help you to be able to overcome this. Remember, your tribe is not just your physical, your blood relatives. It can be people outside. And one of the ones I love, one of the tribes I talk about in my book is are the royals. I think it's page 181. I think I remember I talk about it. BeRoyal.com, and I think that the royals are an amazing tribe, and I'd really love for you to join them. And if any Wales, I think Sama is a whale. Maybe you can reach out to Sheila Gordon. Sheila, just go to BeRoyal.com. You'll be amazed at the support you can get from this group. And, you don't have to be beat down by sometimes what your own physical family is helping you with. So I appreciate you being vulnerable and letting us know what's going on. And I promise you that you can reach out to the Royals and they'll really help you. So God bless you. I hope, the best for you. I like this. Kathy Kidrick calendar, riding horses and meditation while riding. I could meditate so much easier. Awesome. I'll tell you, horses, and we did a whole show on horses and hearts. Horses are an amazing animals. And what we talked about is how horses can really, let's talk about animal therapy and how horses can really help with unconditional love and support. Really can help folks to be able to heal their pain, both physical and emotional. So, absolutely. Clint Westwood, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Let's see, we keep going here. No, Roca, that's right, BeRoyal.com. Paula Duty, what are your thoughts on mental illness? Paula, that's an important and big question. I think that Paula's talking about mental illness. Mental illness is a crisis in our country. I think we have in the United States a real lack of mental illness, help for mental illness. I think a lot of people are suffering. Insurance companies often are not covering mental illness. You can't find the providers. You can't find psychiatrists, psychologists. You can't find people to help you. And there's a lot of drugs that are just being given without really people giving thought of the person. So I think there's a lot of problems that are out there with mental illness. What I would say to you is that one of the biggest things we can do is from an adjunct, meaning that besides getting therapy and also some of the medications that are useful and not over-medicating, is that eating clean, eating healthy, you have to remember, you are what you eat, right? There's a huge connection between the gut and the brain. If you want to keep your mind healthy, and if you want to keep your mental state really focused, you want to eat whole foods that you know that you're preparing, not stuff in a can, not stuff in a bottle, right? You want to take away as much of the artificial ingredients. Secondly, if you can, please, if you can't afford it, then organic foods. Remember, the rule of thumb with organic foods, the thinner the skin, the more important it is to get organic. So, for example, if you're having grapes or if you're having an apple, then really important to have grapes. If you're having thicker stuff like cantaloupe, watermelon, less important for organic. So you want to do that. I would avoid also a lot of red meat. I'd also ask you to, if you can, meditation and calming the mind and cultivating the mind is very important. And start off by doing as little as you possibly, as little as you can, or as much as you can, I should say. But it can be as little as 5 minutes a day, and that'll really help you to be able to calm your mind, and mental illness can really change. It can really be a big factor. Meg Downey, life-changing, thank you. I'm hoping, we can give people an introduction. There's so many tools that we use in our community, in our family, in our city, our wonderful city of Detroit, that we use. I would love to give it to your community and the whole. Rachel Starlone, why is my doctor keep insisting on injections and medicines for pain management? I want a solution for my sciatic pain, piriformis pain, SI, and joint pain. So here's the thing, I would say medicines can help you, of course, because there's some problems that you have that are what we call anatomic, which means a physical problem, right, that you have. But I'd say along with that, I would not give up on yoga. I would not give up on acupuncture. I would not give up on meditation. Also, how are you sleeping? Really important, Rachel. How are you sleeping? Because if you don't sleep well, and I struggle with it myself, I struggle with not getting the right amount of sleep. If you don't sleep well, then your body cannot heal. Your body has the capacity to heal every single cell. But if you don't give it the tools it needs, right, it's not going to be able to do a job. So I'm not saying throw out your medications. What I'm saying is that use the tools that your body is giving you to be able to help you. Number one is you've got to get the rest. Got to get the rest. And I know that pain sometimes reduces your reason for rest, but you got to do everything you can. So, very important. Kathy Markster, how can I get rid of the pain in my shoulder, neck, arm without shots and medication? Again, I think really would be important, Kathy, I'm not sure what part of the world or country you're from, to be able to see if we can get you to an acupuncturist, or somebody in your community that can refer you to an acupuncturist would really help you. Make sure, first of all, that you don't have, a torn rotator cuff for a physical problem. It's really important to make sure that before you go and see an acupuncturist, if you see somebody in physical therapy, if you see a neurologist, or do meditation, you do yoga, you have to remember that you want to make sure you don't have a torn rotator cuff or some anatomical problem, something's broken or torn. You want to make sure it's negative first, and then you can use some techniques. I'll tell you, acupuncture it can be life changing. So that's awesome. Joan Pickett, hello, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Lynn Daly. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Lynn says, love the work you do. Your Dr. Nandi, look forward to reading your book so that I can be my own health hero. So nice. Thank you. Those of you who are just joining us, in the top of the Facebook feed, we have a link for you to really be one of the first ones to get my book, Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. I'm really proud of it. Done a lot of research, done a lot of work, and this is really what our community, our family lives by. So I'd love for you guys to be able to join us and get a copy. Again, it drops September 12th, but if you click the link, you can go to either Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whatever link you like, whatever site you like, rather. It'll give you a discount for pre-order, so appreciate that. Let's see, Andrew Fuller, thank you for joining us. Melissa Pickett, CHF, no salt, no processed foods, walk daily. Awesome, good job. Kathy Kidrick Challenger says, thank you, Dr. Nandi, for saying being with horses is good for your meditation. Absolutely, Kathy. Being with horses is good for your whole life. Are you kidding me? I actually did a show. I wish I could share that with you. I actually rode a horse. Okay, cool. Kelly's gonna look for the photo. So Kathy, we actually did a show, and I actually rode a horse. I had not ridden a horse before. And then the thing is, he hasn't ridden a horse before. Yeah, I haven't ridden a horse before, but I did the horse. But I did the closing of the show on a horse. I was a little scared, but you know, the horse is so, for me, such an ease. It's unbelievable. Remember that, Cal? Lisa Drake, is it bad to be on blood pressure medications if you're pregnant? Just depends, Lisa. Great questions on how bad your blood pressure is and you know, what kind of medications you use. You have to be in touch with your obstetrician and make sure that it's safe for you. But you don't want to have super high blood pressure either during, you know, this is a trying time in your life. So you want to make sure you talk to your OB if you can, even tomorrow, to make sure the medications you're taking are safe for you and your baby. So really important. Also, to keep control of your blood pressure is also important during your pregnancy. Let's see. Sama Akbar. Awesome, Sama. BeReal.com. The best therapy is having friends who understand you and believe in you no matter what you've been through. Absolutely. And not just yes men. So here's the thing that people think. The tribe is just like, oh yeah, everything's great, you're the best thing ever. Yeah. No. It's not your entourage. It's people that really will tell you, by the way, I know you really believe in this thing, but I want you to do well, but they're also realistic. They'll tell you that, you know what, that you need to pivot. Sometimes if you're not in the right track. So you don't want your tribe just to be aimless. So really important. BeWorld.com, awesome tribe. A lot of you should really, think about that. Jen McKay, thank you so much. Paula Dooley again says mental illness, and I've meditated and it's starting to eat better. I'm also a peer support specialist. Wow, good job, Paula. Who helps others with mental illness and or substance abuse problem. What you said made a lot of sense about red meat. I haven't thought about this. Thank you again. Thank you. Noraini Ismail. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I love for healthy, so I must be taking care of my body. Always jogging and eating fruits and vegetables every time. And Noraini, also important to have purpose in your life. Really important. Purpose in your life. And cultivate your mind. When you're doing 2 of the 5 steps absolutely well, you're eating well, and you're exercising and you're moving your body. So awesome. Rosa Hoffner says, Debbie, I'm so sorry. I can understand your pain. Please try to talk to someone for support. Absolutely. Here we go. Kathy Markster. I did get oh good. She did get checked out. Nothing serious leg damage. It's a nerve causing. I see a neurologist. Thank you for your help. You know, if it's a nerve problem, Kathy, I really think that an acupuncturist can help. Please, if you haven't tried it, I would definitely do that. So Jen Recto says, Dr. Nandi, my question is about heart matter. I feel in love with my best friend. And I told him about my feeling, and you know what? He gets angry at me and he's avoiding me now. My question is, what am I going to do for him to forgive me? Can you help me? So this is a tough one, Jane. You know, the thing is that I don't know what you need to be forgiven for, right? You're just being honest with the person and you're letting them know your feelings. So it's probably, I don't know how long ago this happened, it's probably a shock for the person, so you want to give them time to be able to adjust to it. Once that time has passed, let's say, I don't know, maybe at least a few days, maybe a week or so, you want to approach and just let them know that, listen, you know, I understand if you don't have the same feelings for me, but you know, and then try to see if that happens. If they're still resistant, then you may have to back off because you know you can't force someone to feel a certain way. Remember that, and if they truly do feel the same way, they'll come around. And again, the key is that the love for yourself has to be strong. You can't let this, if it happens that this person doesn't really, respect the same feelings that you have, then you have to remember that, you know, how amazing the person you are, and that you will find someone who appreciates that. So that's awesome. Let's see, a couple more questions here. Okay. Virginia Mamuak, this is love the way you help people about their health. I have acid reflux and I've been taking medicines for 12 years now. Will my medicine be forever? The rest of my life, I'm taking pantoprazole. Before I took omeprazole, etc. Can I stop taking the medicine? So Virginia, really important question. Virginia is talking about one of the most common diseases I treat, which is acid reflux or GERD. And in fact, I talk about that in my book, some of the important measures about reflux. So her question is that I'm taking pantoprazole. Am I going to take this the rest of my life? And I think that the rest of your life is a long time. It depends on a couple of things. Number one is, do you have damage from that acid reflux, right? Key. There's a little scope that goes into your mouth, and then while you're sleeping, it goes into your esophagus, your food tube, which is right here, that way kind of your ribs meet, and then it checks out your esophagus. If there's damage there, then the medicine is really quite important. If there's no damage, you can think about, I wouldn't stop it, but I would wean it down, meaning that I would decrease the dose. So if you're taking it every day, for example, often tell my patients go to every other day, see how you feel, and sometimes every third day, and even up to even as little as twice a week. But if you have damage, please check with your doctor to make sure it's safe to wean off. Remember, acid reflux can also, over time, give some complications, and one of them is what? Is Barrett's esophagus. And Barrett's esophagus can increase the risk of a deadly disease, which is adenocarcinoma of the esophagus, or esophageal cancer. So it's really important to know the facts, know if there's really some damage, and talk to your doctor. If there is damage, is that damage permanent? Did it happen one time and it's healed now? That's important to know. We do know that if you stop the medicine completely, and if you've had damage in the past, then that can recur significantly, meaning you can come back to you 90% of the time. So I would not recommend stopping it unless you talk to your doctor and you're sure there's no damage. Hope that made sense. Corey Morris, good morning. Good morning to you. And Sandra Miller is in Michigan. Take a look here. Rachel Starlone, important point. Suicide is happening all around the country, but close to home. My cousin passed away not long ago, but my friend attempted. How and what to do for those that are dealing with mental health issues? I suffer with pain and have thoughts, but our community has lost many loved ones to suicide. Rachel, I'll tell you, suicide is a crisis in our country. It's a crisis in our country. As we've spoken today on Facebook Live, there are many who've attempted suicide and many who have succeeded. Really important to know that if you are depressed and if you have thoughts of suicide, obviously, number one, go to the emergency room, talk to your doctor. And then, can I give you that number for the hotline for suicide? You can look that up, that'd be great. I want to give that to Rachel. But number one thing is that the most common reason for suicide is also the fact that depression is not being treated adequately. So there's a lot of social stigma about depression. Remember, despite what we think, you cannot control your thoughts. Often people think your thoughts are your own, and sometimes there are chemical reactions that can change your thoughts. So number one, we have to treat depression. Number two, I'm sick and tired of the stigma of suicide. People are often blaming others or how weak that person is. I disagree with that. I think that you have to think how low you have to be in your life to be able to take your life, right? It's not a cowardly act. It's an act that there's so much pain within you that you can't take it away. So I encourage all of you to really support our community in helping depression. In helping substance abuse, also one of the leading reasons why people are committing suicide, also that there's a lot of substance abuse, meaning a lot of drugs being taken. Right? We kind of kid about it in movies, etc., but in real life, it's a serious problem. So we have to support our community, and we have to support our suicide community. What is that number, Cal? What is it?
It is 800-273.
800-273. 8255. 1-800-273-8255. Again, for anybody who's had thoughts of suicide, it's really critical to know that there's so many people that can help you. And if people just knew, it would be unbelievable. But thank you for bringing up this very important point. It's a crisis in our nation. And it just saddens me that how many people still die and so many people are really suffering, so I appreciate bringing it up. So Virginia goes on. Virginia Manuek says, I have acid reflux and I've been, I'm sorry, I thought this is a different question that came up again. I apologize. Sophie is from Montreal. Sophie Pichet Morgan. Love Montreal. And Clint Westwood rather, sorry. I had bad acid reflux until I started using CPAP machines. Super important point. So Clint's talking about something that's really important. So sleep apnea. I know for a fact because I have sleep apnea. You know, when I started using the CPAP machine, my reflux got better as well. So we don't know which one comes first. Sometimes sleep apnea can be worsened with reflux, right? But important that sleep apnea is such an important disorder that can affect so many health disorders. Oh yeah, so reflux can be one of the silent killers, right? For those of you who have loved ones who don't like to use your CPAP machine, tell them that, you know, I don't want to lose you from a stroke or from a heart attack, because imagine if your body is not getting the oxygen it needs. Then what's going to happen to the organs? They could die. So that is what's critical about this, and you want to be able to use all the oxygen your body has. So sleep apnea, if you don't use your CPAP, it can really, really make a big difference. Shobha Dev says, hello doc, how can you guide me to what my blood pressure should be at age 50? It keeps fluctuating between 120 and 140. I really think, Shobha, it should be at least less than 120, the top number. And the bottom number, you know, I would aim way below 90. You know, you should be in the 80s if you're of good health. It's important to talk to your doctor specifically about your condition, but those numbers are not life-threatening, but over time can really be problematic. So you want to make sure that you try to get those numbers lower. One of the things I would talk about is really reducing the amount of stress. You know, meditation is going to help you tremendously, Shobha. You know, yoga is going to help you tremendously, and not the yoga where you have to sweat and you have to be locked in a room that's 120 degrees and that kind of stuff. It's talking about, really, you want to talk about how you take yoga off the mat, right? Take it with you in life, and that can really reduce it. How does that help? It reduces the fight or flight response, reduces microscopic stress, reduces your blood pressure. I talk about a lot of this in my book, Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. And I'll tell you that some of this information can be life-changing, and we have the link. It's still, I think, posted on the top of the Facebook feed, right? Exactly. And so it'll give you links to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Indie Books, wherever you like, your favorite site. And if you order it now, you're able to get it, one of the first ones to get it. I think they'll even probably ship it the day of release, September 12th. But you also get a discount. I think it's now a little bit over $17, so discount over the list price when the book comes out. So I encourage all of you to get My Life's Work. I'm super proud of it, so I keep talking about it. And a lot of the information and some of the questions that you're giving today will be answered in that book. And what's also critical, Melissa Pickett talked about this, is that what about the how? You're talking about the what about the how? We actually have action plans in here. This is packed with recipes. We give guides on how to really live your life. So very, very important. You know, it's awesome. So I love it, and I really would like for you to be able to partake in it. You know, so very, very important. Cynthia Gasso-Zwick said any probiotic options. I really recommend for a lot of my patients Align, which is a probiotic we use for a lot of my patients who have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis. But I think it's easily taken, easily stored. Align, Procter & Gamble product, which is available really anywhere. So that's one of my recommendations. It's my go-to product that I use all the time. Marianne Elizabeth says, I have GERD for myself. I avoid taking the medicine by staying away from spicy food, etc. But that is what usually helps me. May not work for all. Talk to your doctor. Absolutely, Marianne. But I also think it's important for reflux. There's heartburn and there's GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. If you actually have erosions, right? You have damage to your esophagus. That's really important because that could be a precursor for something much more serious, right? That could be a precursor for something like, for example, Barrett's esophagus, which can lead to cancer. So The number one goal that I have for my patients is having them feel better. Number two is to make sure their esophagus is healed and in proper condition. So if you're somebody who has reflux more than 3 times a week, if you're over the age of 40, I think you should have an endoscopy, which is a scope test. Pretty simple. I've had it done myself. But Carl, you've had it too. It's not a big deal. Little scope, half the size of my little finger. It's kind of tiny. And it goes in your mouth. You're asleep for it. Takes a look in your esophagus. And what that does gives you the information that you need, right? If this was, 1910 or 1872, it's all right. It's got symptoms. But we now actually have information that can tell you what you need to do. Hey, listen, I don't want you to take medicine unnecessarily, but if the medicine can save your life, I'm all for it, right? To me, it's the best of the East and best of the West. I talk a lot about that in my book. It's the best of the East and the best of the West, right? So Eastern medicine, thousands of years of amazing information. And the best of the West, amazing medicines that can change your life. At the turn of the century, in the early 1900s, if you're 50 years old, you're doing well, right? And now, our lifespans are what? Average life expectancy is, in some countries, 90. So medicine is super important. Vaccination is super important. However, we also have to do the other stuff, right? You have to do diet. You have to, as a diet and nutrition plan, you also have to move with purpose. You have to use all the powers of your body. So that's the key. So very cool. Thank you for all your questions. And you guys are staying with me here. Thank you for your time and your attention. And again, I will again tell you that if you think there are communities that you have that would benefit from this, share this with them. Remember, this Facebook Live stays on so they can actually listen to it from the beginning. And today we're just answering your questions.
You can answer on Wednesday too?
Yes. Yeah. And Wednesday we'll answer it, but we'll keep answering today as well. Let's see. Joe Davis talks about depression and suicide and chronic illness. Support, don't judge. I love that. So Joe, thank you for that. Support, don't judge. Super critical in helping our community to really get past some of the stigma, some of the misconceptions, of suicide and mental illness. Mental illness is a crisis in our country. We need people to be helped and not be judged, and don't say, "Oh, they're just crazy." That's just the wrong thing to say. Remember, a few different chemicals, and your thoughts could be different as well. Really critical. Let's see. Hello from, what does that say? Let's see. Hello from Maltoba. Awesome. Let's see, Brian. Live in fear. You're going to die no matter what. Carry on. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that one of the keys, Brian, you talk about, and I'll tell you, I think, and Brian had a comment before that, I think, I had sleep apnea in my whole life. Yeah, nobody cared.
He's saying nobody cared, but now you're saying it's really bad for you. I was thinking maybe you could elaborate.
Yeah, I think that, Brian, so here's the thing, sleep apnea is hugely important, and we know now what we didn't know maybe even 10 years ago. What we now know is that, and I'm sorry that whoever did not care for you, but I'm telling you, you know the information now. That if you have sleep apnea and you know that your body's not getting the oxygen that you need, what happens is that sleep apnea is not just snoring, it's when you actually stop breathing. I'll tell you, for me, my story was I was up north and my relatives, I was with my relatives. If you've ever been to Michigan, it's cottage living. We're kind of all, kind of in one cottage, and we're all kind of in close quarters. So one day when I was there, I heard someone say, "Oh my gosh, he's not breathing." So I said, "Oh, who? Let me go help him." And they said, "You were not breathing." So I was a patient, and I did some tests, and they said I wasn't breathing for quite some time. So I did some tests, and what I did was I went into a sleep lab where they measured, what was happening when I slept, and I actually woke up 215 times during the evening. Didn't even know about it. And my oxygen level went down to about 73%. Remember, the lower end of normal is about 92, 93%. So my body was not getting oxygen for a long time. So the key is that I started using the sleep apnea machine. I used to feel pretty sleepy in the afternoon. I just thought, well, I was just busy. But I realized after I had the sleep app machine and I used it, that it was not just that. It was really that my body was lacking the nutrients it needs, lacking what it needs, which is the oxygen. So, Brian, I'll tell you that it's critical that, listen, I'm sorry that that someone didn't care about that, but right now you have the information, act on it, right? The past, act on it. And if you can get the information you need and the treatment you need, then I think that you can really benefit from your life. One of the leading causes of stroke, heart disease. I tell you, sleep is really important for your body. Very important. Jen Craig, and so Joy Craig. Hello, I'm wondering if your kidneys are failing. Is this a condition that's reversible? It just depends, Joy. Very important. Kidneys are, to me, the kidneys are the smartest organs in the body, period. So can this be reversible? Joy, it's a really important question, depending on what's going on. For example, if you get dehydrated, which means that you don't get enough fluid or blood in your body, and your kidneys get damaged, then if you get the fluid back in your body, then your kidneys can be damaged. I talk a lot about fluids and really what you need to take in my new book, Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. I've got the link right here on the top. For those of you who want to partake in that, just click on the link and you'll be able to get a lot of the information and answer a lot of the questions you're asking. Super proud of it. And if you click on the link, you can go to either Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Indie Books, Books and Win, whatever your choice is. And a lot of them are discounting it. I think it's a little bit over $17.60 for the book, and it'll be $26 when it comes out. So it's a good deal. But back to your question, about kidney disease, really important to know why. So if you're seeing a kidney doctor, they should be able to tell you whether this is something that's reversible and what can be done about it. If you're not seeing a kidney doctor, I encourage you to ask your doctor to have you see a kidney specialist, also known as a nephrologist. They can do some tests to find out why. It's very important to have your kidney working well because it can control your blood pressure, it can control your mood, it can control your electrolytes. I mean, this thing does so much. One of the smartest organ to me in my body, smarter than the brain, actually. So, very important question. Nutrition, though, is really important for the kidneys. You want to get the right amount of fluids. You want to be able to not drink a bunch of soda that can really not be great for your kidneys, trying to filter out all the crap. And again, in general, try to eat whole foods, leafy green vegetables. Pick from the entire spectrum because you want to be able to give your body great nutrients and also antioxidants. Remember, like one of my favorite foods are blueberries. Lots of antioxidants, delicious, nutritious, lots of antioxidants to detoxify all that crap that comes in your body. And we talk about some of my favorite foods and also the recipes in my new book as well. So if you can pick the copy up, as I told you, by clicking the link. So really important question. And we're closing in on midnight, so I'll take a couple more questions here. I'm trying to understand this question, so bear with me here. It's from Hoa Toifi, I think? Yes. Hello, Doctor. I'm choosing the live broadcast. Let me just do something very funny with my feet here so I can make this even more pronounced. Right here. Today, Doctor shared grow full for haircut, hair nail for polite, keep the boys off mind. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Yeah, most people can see. Sama says, I used to be on 7 prescriptions. Now I'm only on 1. Awesome. I've always eaten healthy and exercised. The yoga and meditation really tipped the scale towards health. And I'll be celebrating my 50th birthday in 2 years. Awesome. This is a very important message, Sama, that you're getting. Is that, you know what, when you actually practice yoga and meditation the right way, you can reduce your medications. I don't want all of you to stop taking your medication and just think that yoga is going to do it. But for a lot of us, what can happen is that medication can be reduced, the dosage can be reduced, the number of medications can be reduced if you do what? If you actually do the right techniques of meditation, practice yoga. You can reduce some of the stressors in your life and also reduce what's called the fight-flight response, right? And that can make a huge difference. So congratulations. I appreciate that. Listen, it's almost midnight. I wanted you to thank you so much for the amazing questions, amazing comments. Again, we have the link available for those of you. I would love for all of you to be able to get the book that are watching today, and it's at a discount from Barnes and Noble and Amazon and Books a Million. We have the links from Amazon as well, and Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, what is it, Indie Books, etc. And the book is called, for those of you who don't know, Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. I really want all of you to know the information there. It answers a lot of the questions we have today and a lot of the comments, so I really appreciate it. On Wednesday, I'll be doing the same thing. We'll have some questions that we'll be answering and then taking your comments and really soaking it in. I love all the support that you guys are giving us and all the attention. Remember, again, to share with your community, let them know some of the amazing things that you can do, that the body has the capacity to heal. Small changes, huge results. I really appreciate you and your community. So, again, remember, make healthy living a part of every day. I appreciate you joining us, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Namaste.